you have a chisel that looks like this and you want to bring it back to life, I'm going to show you a really, really easy way of doing it, just using a belt sander and a couple of scraps of wood. So you get yourself a belt that maybe has a bit of damage on it or something, and what you do is you cut it in half, long ways, okay? Now this is a worn 120 grit, so it's not too abrasive, but it's still enough to grind the metal back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this, and I'm going to show you how easy it is. So let's stick it into the belt sander, and then once that's in, we'll lock that off. Okay, and now what we need to do is get a couple of scraps of wood, kind of like this. Now this is for a primary bevel, that's set at 25 degrees. And what that is a block of wood here, cut at 25 degrees, glued in between two pieces here. But you see there's a bit of a gap here. What that does is it allows the belt to spin freely underneath. So to get our primary bevel back, all you need to do is just hold it still, and then set your chisel on there, and then just bring it down, introduce it to the belt. And before we get using it, just make sure you've got a pot with some water in, because we want to keep the steel nice and cool so we don't overheat it. It's as simple as holding the bevel side down, getting it to line up nicely and grinding it away. One thing to help to ensure that you're grinding square, what we can do is set it to the lowest point of the damage. Okay, so that's actually quite a lot of material to remove there. And then if we just score it with a knife. Okay, so let's turn it on and start sharpening. Okay, so I've just done it for about 20 seconds and you could already see that it's starting to take shape. Just remember to keep it cool in between grinding, and what you can do is when you dip it in the water, you can see water on the back. As soon as that evaporates, then dip it again. This took a few minutes, but now we've got a nice square primary bevel. Now all we need to do is put a secondary bevel on there. So you can put your secondary bevel on freehand or use a honing guide, but my preferred method is the sharp edge, because it's just consistency and super easy as well. So I'm going to set this to 30 degrees. That's locked at 30 now. And a couple of strokes. Doesn't take much at all. Okay, so now we've got our secondary bevel finished. That literally took 20 seconds. Going to have a quick strop on some leather just to get that final cut. So the difference is night and day.